Hello, Flosstube. Elizabeth Martinez, phantastitches here, and this is my update number 307. Today is Saturday, November 11th, I think. Excuse me. And this is Channel Black Cross Stitch. So I have just a couple of things to update, and I've been going over my list of over my pile of new charts. More about that a little bit later, but I've been doing my WIPGO stitching and all that also. So that's primarily where we're gonna start. So our WIPGO numbers this month were number 3 and number 8, I believe. And of course, that leaves the last two numbers for December, already by default, already chosen, whatever. So I know what I'm going to be working on basically to the end of the year as far as WIPGO is concerned. But I am going to try to get a couple of things in, stitching things in, and then probably do non-stitching type gifts for most of the people on my Christmas list. Just because I don't want to be, that boring aunt that always does cross-stitch stuff for everybody, whether you like it or not. So I want to do something that's appropriate, or something that's, thoughtful, or something that is aligns with what each person on my list, likes or is interested in, or something like that, So, so yeah. Oh, and also my sister and I were thinking about like a little holiday tree, a little Christmas tree for our Christmas related ornament finishes and things like that to put up somewhere. And so I think I saw one at Walmart that I think would be appropriate. It's like a 3-foot tall, basically, or 32 inches or something, not quite 3 feet. Pre-lit little tree, like a 3 foot circumference or whatever. So it's smallish. So so we're probably going to do something like that. But anyway, so I've been thinking about that a little bit, but we'll see. I think we have some ornament type finishes. Well, the Blackwork Angels that I finished earlier this year would be really appropriate for that, So anyway, so for WIPGO, like I said, number 3 and number 8. So I worked on my number 3, which was the Peacock. Was a little kit from Designworks. Came with white Aida to finish it on, and then all the threads and stuff. And so I took the Aida, as I said before, I took the Aida and I dyed it a pinky color. It would go with these. So this is where I am now after 6 days. Actually, I think I did like 7 or 8 days, because I was working down here. I started in the middle, and so I worked down this way. And like I said last week, I did this lighter blue color. I did it in the wrong color. Yeah, I looked at my list of threads and was trying to decide which one I was going to start with. And so I chose this symbol, but I accidentally chose that thread. So I had put all, it comes in pre-cut little, length, and I usually do a loop start in cases like that. It's a DMC, basically DMC equivalence. And so since it's non-variegated, I usually use the loop method for such a thing. And so I had used all 6 strands of this one length of floss, and had done all of that and pulled it all out. And so I redid it all in this lighter blue color. And then I worked my way up and right here, it's a little hard to see, but I did some white stitches right here. There's like some white designs in these feathers, you know, some white stitching up in here, and that was the most logical way to get up across this gap to the bird. So I had started right here and used those white stitches. And actually, that's why I'm glad I dyed this fabric, because otherwise it would have been white on white and basically impossible to see. But so I did all those white stitches there, and then enabled me to get up and do this darker colors. And I did the leg of the peacock, and I don't know if this is supposed to be the other leg or something. There's like one little brown stitch that goes right up in here, I think. And it's hard to tell, you know, for the picture or from the pattern what it's supposed to be. I'm thinking it's supposed to be like part of the other leg, you know, because peacocks have two legs. So anyway, there's the one leg there, and I think this is supposed to be part of the other leg. I don't know. But anyway, so that's the only place that there's any brown in this pattern at all. And then I got up and did the rest of the bird up here, or I mean, part of the bird. I just, you know, concentrated on some of the colors. There's, you know, some other colors that go in here. And then this is basically all of the head that there is, except for there's like this little gap right here are some white stitches. But the rest of it is done with, I think there's a French knot or something for the eye. But then it's all done with back stitching, you know, the shape of the head and the beak and all that. It's all done with back stitching. So, so apart from the white stitches, that's all of the head. And then up here is, you know, there's the little crown thing, and then there's back stitching to connect them and all that. So, but anyway, it you know, just to sort of get away from just these little circles that are the eyes or whatever in the tail, I did some work on this on the bird's body and all of that. So there's still like a lot of stuff that you can't really tell. You know, it's all part of all this feathery stuff that's down here. But yeah, so I sort of satisfied in my want to do something different than just the circles. But it's gonna be really pretty, I think. When I eventually get around to doing it, whenever I'll get back to it. But so yeah, there's that. So then my other WIPGO number 8 is this on the balcony, the one that I talked about before, that I had taken a picture of my cats one evening, and so from that picture, my sister Eve made this cross stitch. And I did change one thing. This right here is it's my sister was explaining it. It's kind of like the shadow or something. It's part of some perspective that she saw on the picture. But I just made these few squares right here, just this the same brown as this edge of the post here. It just looked better to me, so that's what I ended up doing. So, you know, I keep looking at the picture because looking at the chart, you know, I couldn't tell what am I looking at, you know, specifically or whatever. And so the picture without the symbols and all that on it, and looking at the whole thing at once, it's a little easier to tell what I'm looking at. Because in this picture, there's a chair, and you know, and the post. There's a wooden chair right here. That's what this curve thing is, the backrest of the chair, and Puck is sitting on the table, and then Snug is sitting on the floor of the balcony, and the chair there, and the railing, and there's a tree. So you know, in the picture you can tell a little bit better what the isolated, you know, pixels of the chart. You can tell what they're supposed to be. But in the instance of this little square here, it's I guess supposed to be part of I don't know. I changed it. And I was talking to my sister, and she was like explaining what she was looking at, but I liked it better with just the brown on there. So right now I'm doing this little brown stripe of the post, and I did some work on the black of the cat, but it's a lot of this black stitching because it's basically solid from here down, and that's just because Puck is a black cat, and so it's all this, you know, just lots and lots and lots of dense black stitching is going to go here, and the other cat is down here. You can't see it, right? So I did work a little bit on these vertical bars of the balcony railing, and I finished this little light colored stitching of the top of the ledge of the post, and so it's coming along, and I have a couple more days stitching on this, and so the needle minders that are on here. I had been using this one. It's the same color as, you know, as these, but the reason I had used this was I made some needle minders for our Etsy shop out of these little stones, and they were just something I picked up at, I think, at Hobby Lobby. They were just like a clear, like, I don't know, resin kind of type thing, and they had like apparently painted on the back of it with this blue color, and then white, and so you can kind of see the layers of the paint colors when you know, look at the edges here. But this particular one had a defect in it because they had, like, it looks like they had gotten some paint or something on the outside of this stone, whatever. So I just, you know, kept it for myself and made a needle minder out of it. But this here, my niece had made this out of that Sculpey clay or something, and she had made it as a pin. She had put a little pin back on it, and the pin back, the glue didn't stick or whatever. So the pin part came off, and I had this in a thing that I was gonna repair it, you know, to glue the pin back on it, and I came across it when I was looking for something else, and I just thought, that'd make a really great needle minder. So I just like peeled the residue of the glue off and made it into a needle minder. And I just stuck it on here because I thought that's really appropriate. So yeah, so that's cute. Anyway, so like I said, I have a couple more days, and I will probably try to finish this post and do more on the cat, because it's just, like I said, a lot of stitching. Yeah. So anyway, that's coming along. And I do have an update for the Etsy shop I'm going to show you in a second. Actually, I'm going to show it right now before I forget. My sister Eve had been having some trouble with her foot and then later her knee, and so sewing that she had been doing was kind of painful for her, and so she ended up making some needle minders and stuff. Scissor fobs, excuse me, scissor fobs, and then I made an additional needle minder to go along with that, because I think we had sold one before, but this little alien head, this needle minder. So I think, like I said, I think we sold one already. So I made another one to place our inventory. And there's a little glue spot or something on. Sorry. There he is. I had to do him twice, actually, because you know, it's supposed to be like a charm or something. It had a little ring there, and I had glued the magnets on the back, and didn't realize that that little loop on there was magnetic, and so I had glued the magnet on there, and I was letting it dry, and it was strong enough that the magnet went zoop and hit that, and connected itself to that ring, and so it like smeared glue across the back, and so I cleaned it all off and started over again and took the little ring off of there. So, but yeah, there's that in the Etsy shop. It's gonna, if it's not in right now, it'll be in the next couple of days. But then, so Eve made a bunch of scissor fobs to go in there, and I don't know if I had mentioned the little space related charms before. I don't think we had talked about them on our Three Sisters Creative videos. Had talked about them, I think, last week or something. But so we had these charms that she'd found. This little astronaut in a moon, and this astronaut in a star. And then we had talked about this giraffe. My sisters were saying, maybe it's a steampunk giraffe or something, an astronaut giraffe, because it's got a little helmet here. But to me, it looks like a war giraffe, like knights would put armor on their horses, and even a little faceplate on their horses, and that's what it looks like to me. Like it's a war giraffe. You would ride the giraffe into battle. But at any rate, the giraffe is wearing some kind of armor suit, spacesuit kind of thing. Yeah. So it's got a little helmet. So anyway, she made a needle miner out of it. I mean, a scissor fob. Excuse me, I keep saying that wrong. Scissor fob out of this war giraffe. And then the astronauts sitting on the star and moon. She made one. She said these little nuggets reminded her of asteroids. So there's a little astronaut on the moon, on a star, and astronaut sitting, oops, that's his back, sitting in the moon. So yeah. And then she also made some Christmas ones. So here. So this one has a little Christmas cat. It's got some, looks like Christmas lights or something on him. There. And this one has a little Scotty dog. Excuse me, I have it backwards. Little Scotty dog in a Christmas sweater. And then, excuse me, this one is a little cat with a there. And it looks like a Christmas box. Yeah. That one. So those should be in the Etsy shop shortly. And then the other thing is this project bag. It's Christmas trees and this candy cane fabric for the bottom and the handles and the inside, and the matching notions pouch. And so the notions pouch has those little candy canes for the charm on them, and this bag has a little Christmas tree charm as a zipper pull. So yeah, it has these pretty cute little Christmas trees, and like I said, this matching notions pouch. And today, which is Saturday, through Sunday night at midnight, I guess, is still the sale that if you spend $35 or more, you get 25% off, I believe. But after, so, you still have a few days to take advantage of that if you want. But after Sunday, there's another sale that starts on Monday, which is, I believe, 35% off of 3 items or more. So if you want to buy, say, 3 scissor fobs, or, scissor fobs and needle minders, you want to buy stocking stuffers, that 3 or more items, that'll, like I said, that sale will save you some money. And also, like, you can buy, this is one item, because the Oceans pouch comes with the project bag. So that's one item. And then you could buy, a scissor fob, you could buy a needle minder, whatever, or a couple of them, like a scissor fob and a needle minder, that's your 3 items. Or you could buy, like I said, 3 scissor fobs, 3 needle minders, a combination of those. Anyway, that's the 3 items. So, so there's another sale starting on Monday for that at that rate. And I'll try to put those all in the description box below. The other thing I did this week was I kind of got a little bit of a wild hair. I had been looking for the finishing items that I had bought for that round Santa that I showed. I guess I showed last week or the week before. But it's one of my FFO projects for this month. And I finished it a long time ago. It was from an old magazine. I can find the magazine. I think the magazine pages, I think I tore them out of the magazine. And I may have, I don't know if I threw away the magazine. I don't know. Like I said, it's such a long time ago. The magazine I know is from like the maybe mid-90s or something. Because I think the original design said something like, 1993 or 94 or something like that. And when I first started finally stitching it, I think I had decided to change the date to 1999 or whatever the year was. But I didn't, I didn't finish it. I just set it aside at some point. And so when I started stitching again, after my surgery, I started stitching in earnest, basically. And so I think I picked it up again in 2017, 2018, something like that, because when I finished it, I changed the date to 2018 on there. I had to sort of rechart it because it's in the chart, the dates in there. But it took me so long to finish it, 10 years or something. And part of the reason for that was that it's very intricate. It has French knots, it has beading, or maybe I put the beads in there instead of French knots or something. But it had like a place where you use ribbon to be Santa's reins, and I think I don't remember if it called for Krynic or if it called for something like that. I think I used Petite Treasure Braid on it rather than Krynic. But it had some sparkly stuff like there's a Christmas tree in the back of Santa's sleigh, and you put some sparkles on there, and and the runners of the sleigh and all that. So I think all of that, extra detail was very intimidating to me before. But then once I started, watching more Flosstube and watching other stitchers and all that, I think that kind of encouraged me to try some of these more difficult things. And like now, it's looking back on it, I think that's really not that that hard to do, I guess. But at the time, it was very daunting to me, and so I had set it aside at the time for a long time. Anyway, but I did buy some things to finish that with, but I just never got around to doing it, of course, because I don't do FFOs very very easily. And anyway, so like I said, I had kind of, been looking for that and didn't find it. And then I decided that what I wanted to do was look through. I had so many new charts that I haven't started yet, and I do have a pile of new whips. Several of that I started like this past May for Mania, and and I saw somebody talk about on a Flosstube, I guess, about how so many of us like have all these charts that you end up buying a lot of charts that you won't get around to finishing or whatever. We always use the acronym SABLE, right? Stash acquired beyond life expectancy. And in many ways, that's probably true for me now going on, because like, what? I'm 63. I just turned 63, and I have a pile of new starts that's probably at least this big, because like I said, I have my big notebook, my big 3-inch notebook that is full of unstarted new charts. And I just went through a pile probably this big in a tote bag that I had of new starts. And one of the things I did, I got a wild hair on Friday, and excuse me while I unzip this. This is a little pad folio that I got at work when I lived in Little Rock, and I worked at Family Life. We were doing a software switchover, and somebody had dubbed it Mission Impossible, and so they made these little embossed these little pad folios for some of us who were team leaders in that area, whatever. But so I went through that tote bag, and I also listed several things that, like, this is the charts for A Year in the Woods. So these are all the ones that I've started, right? And there's a few in here that I have not started yet. But so this is not in my new starts bag. This is just charts that I knew I had. But basically, these are all charts that I have not started. So there's this page, and there is, let's see, make sure I'm just turning one page, because I know there's more than one. There's this page. There's this page. Excuse me. And there's this page, and that's not counting all the ones I have in that notebook. Not counting those. And of course I also have a subscription to Punch, Needle, and Primitive Stitcher, and there's all kinds of lovely cross-stitch charts in those. Some of which I'm probably not interested in stitching, but many of them I am. And as I have said on here before, I I accidentally bought charts that I already had in the magazines, because I see them and I'd like to stitch that. I'd like to stitch that. And then of course, a year after they're in the magazine, they can be released to the public, and that's what happens. Like, I'd seen them in the magazine and thought I'd seen them somewhere else, and so when they were then released last year at the Jingle Ball, for instance, I bought them because I thought, oh, I like that. I really like that chart. I've seen it before. I want to buy that. Not realizing that, yes, I already had it. So so that's one of the reasons why I want to go through and make this list, because at least I've got my eyeballs on the chart and I know better what I have. That's why I made that list. And I actually, because I have Threadkeeper on my tablet, and it's great because there's you can put the title in, you can put the designer in, you can put whether or not it started, you can put the threads in there, all that lovely stuff. But but I find it easier to make like a big Excel list, because on the Excel list, even if I don't put all the details in, I can sort it. I can, maybe I'll put it alphabetically. I could maybe put it whatever. But I can do other things with it, and there's other little, I can make up whatever categories I want on an Excel spreadsheet. But the downside to that is I don't have like a laptop computer. I just have my big computer on a desktop, and so in order to do anything with it, I have to sit at my desk and work on it. And my my computer's out in the living room and blah blah blah, whatever. It doesn't make any difference in that regard, but it's just that it's more convenient to have something in my room that I can do. So I hadn't done that, hadn't kept up with that. But I do want to put it on my desktop computer. But I also want to make a list of like the charts that are in Punch Needle and Primer Stitcher. But since I have a subscription, I can access all of those things online. I have the computer access to all those charts. And so I might, while I'm sitting at my computer, go online and make a note of all those charts that I have access to. So again, it's as if I have them, right? And then as well as listing all the charts that are in that big notebook I have. And I also have, I think I have them already listed online. I have all the freebies that came out that people were doing, designers were doing in during 2020 for the pandemic. There was a bunch of these be well variations on the phrase be well or whatever. And so I downloaded all or almost all of those charts. So I have one notebook that has just those little freebie charts. But anyway, so yeah, I have a lot more charts that I want to go through to make sure just that I know what I have and what I don't have. And then, speaking of what I have, I also kind of, like I said, I kind of want to do, there's a couple of things I want to do that are for Christmas, whatever. But so when I saw these, they kind of caught my eye, and I may or may not work on them. I may work on them a little bit or something. I don't know. Because on the one hand, I think, oh, they're very small. I could do these very quickly. But they're also very... sorry about the noise. They're very intricate. I mean, there's a lot of, there's some spaghetti, there's a lot of backstitching, there's a lot of whatever. But so these are all little tiny kits, right? They come with a little plastic frame. They come with a little backing board or whatever. They come with the Ada and all the threads, So there's this one. This is I think it's Janlynn. Yeah, it's a Janlynn kit. Designs for the needle. Yes, Janlynn. This is actually Kooler Design Studios. Holiday Wreath is what it's called. Right? So this one, I have done a lot of work on it, but I was looking at the chart, and I think what's left is this one of these green shades. Excuse me. That it's very pixelated. Maybe it's both of the green shades. I don't know. But yeah. So I got a little turned off by all of that sort of, you know, detail oriented stuff. And then there's some back stitching, you know, to bring out all the details of the wreath and the candles and stuff. So, you know, it's a little deceptive. It's small, but there's a lot of stuff in there. And there's this one here. This is, I think it's Jolly Cat. Is what that's what it's called. Yeah, it's called that on the back. And so this one is from that Janlynn kit is from 2004. This one, the copyright on this is 1993. I don't know if that's when I bought it, but that's what the copyright date is. And I think I bought it later. But it's a little kit. Also came with the little plastic frame and the threads and stuff. And I think I took all the threads out because the frame is here and the little backing board, but there's no threads in there or anything else. So I think I took the threads out, but they were like basically DMC threads. Yeah, they're DMC. And the numbers are back here, so I can, you know, from my stash, I can finish it. But I think all that's left on here, besides the black details, backstitching and stuff like that, is the red of that's like the drum and the little oh, maybe one of the, yeah, I don't know, the little, oopsie, that's the chart. Yeah, the little boots and the, you know, the red hat and sweater, part of the sweater, and the drum. And then the back stitching of all, you know, all around it. And then this the little saying that down here too. 'Tis the season to be jolly. There's a cat here right there. So yeah, so there's not that much left on there, but it's just like little fiddly stuff, you know. And then I have one other one. And, you know, like I said, these are close to being finished. I think that at some point I was going to do them, and I just, like, you know, put it off and then quit. And this one is the least done. This is a Bucilla kit, Mary Engelbreit design. And it's very pretty. Those are the big fat balls on there. And this one is the least finished. It's not the right, I don't know if that's the right size. No, that's the back. Here was the front. And I think, I don't know if I have this right side up or upside down. I don't know. But I think this one also has all the threads in it. And again, it came with the little plastic frame and the backing board and all that stuff. So I don't know if this one has, yeah, has a little hanger on the frame, but you can't, I guess they didn't put it in the picture because of the Mary Engelbreit name or something. But anyway, so there's, yeah, this one is not as far along. But again, it's very pixelated, you know, kind of fiddly to finish. And you wouldn't think that because it's so small, you would think, oh, that'd be pretty easy. No, it's deceptively difficult. But the other thing I was thinking about is that I have this little, it's not specifically Christmassy, but it's this little, kind of like a journal thing. It's just a little blank book kind of thing. But it has a perforated, it's paper, basically perforated paper, heavy paper kind of thing. But you can, the little kit, I guess, that it came with, has there's a booklet that has some, you know, designs in it. But basically, really, you could put any design you wanted to on there. So you could make this Christmassy if you wanted to. You could put somebody's initials, a Christmas design, any kind of, you know, design you want on there. So this is another thing I came across in my vain search for the finishing materials for that Santa. And I think I'm thinking of one or two other places it could be. I don't know. but yeah, so I have a couple of other ideas in my inventory of my unfinished chart, unstarted charts. I also came across a couple of things, a couple of issues of Just Cross Stitch magazine. One of which I used a couple of the Christmas. I have the Christmas 2020, December 2020 edition, and the October 2020 edition. And I remember thinking of the October one. There were a couple of designs in there I was thinking about using, but I think I ultimately didn't. I did something different. But the December one, I used a couple of the charts in there. One of, I think I showed them before a couple of years ago. One was the snowman. Maybe I finished it earlier this year, and the other one was a gnome. And I think I maybe finished that for Christmas. I don't know. Maybe I finished them both for Christmas last year. I don't know. But so I had taken those ideas from that magazine. So I might do something else from that magazine. I don't know. But the other thing I came across was I bought this, I think, last year, because I did, for my nephew's girlfriend, I did a one of the patterns from there. It's called something like Christmas snow globe or something kind of snow globe, but it has a little snowman inside there, and it has a little globe design, to make it look like you're getting a snowman in a snow globe. But then I made it into an ornament, and I think I should no, I showed it on here last year. But in that little booklet, there are all kinds of it's a whole bunch of small designs to make into pin keeps. So some of them are a little bit bigger, and some of them are, there's one that's like, I think it's called Photo Booth Fun or something, that has like 3 little pictures like you would get in a photo booth, but so you could stitch them together as a long pillow, or I guess you could do them individually or whatever. So so I might use 1 or 2 ideas from there that I was looking at them thinking that might work. So I don't know exactly what November, the rest of November and December might look like in terms of what extra stitching I might do. I might be, stitching something till the last minute, right before Christmas or something. I don't know. But we'll see what that looks like. So I'm gonna try to, I'm hopefully in the next few days, whatever, I might continue with my listing quest to list all of my things. But I also have to, like, I've got a bunch of FFO stuff, fabric and stuffing and this and that things that I've been using, because I've been FFOing stuff each month as part of my WIPGO goals. So, but I've got it all, just piled here in the living room, and we are having my aunt's coming over from Thanksgiving, and she's going to be visiting with us a couple of days at least. But also just, because of the holidays and everything, I, need to clean up some of that stuff. I've just got stuff everywhere. And so that's going to happen in the next couple of days, I think, just because, you don't want to save everything for the last minute. Famous last words. But yeah, so I do want to, though, find a few things for the holidays to be because I do have a couple people that will appreciate stitching things. But yeah, so yeah, I want to do to sort of plan out what's going to happen in the next month and a half for holiday stitching, whatever. I don't do a whole lot of holiday stitching, and probably you know, a lot of people stitch, you know, Christmas in July kind of ideas, and probably if I started things in July that I was going to finish by the end of the year, I might be better off, but I don't know. I never seem to think that far ahead. I always think about Christmas like now when it's crunch time in November. But I have a couple of things in mind that I hope to do for Christmas that are partway done, and other things, I don't know. We'll see. But so I think that is everything I want to talk about. And I'm going to a concert this evening, and so I have to do a few things to get ready for that. But otherwise, I think that's it for this week. And I'll see you next week. We'll see where I am, what's going on by then. Okay, so until then, keep stitching, happy stitching, and I will see you next week. Thanks for watching. Thanks. Bye.